Chat, here we go. We have got another North American versus Middle East 1v1. And these are some of the most 1v1s, these are some of the most fun 1v1s to do. Buried Living calling me dumb. Sorry, man. I hit the complete purchase. It didn't work. Thank you, Buried, for covering it for me. We have got Evoh versus Kiileerrz. We've actually had Evoh versus Kiileerrz's brother before. I think on multiple occasions we've had Evoh versus Rawas. But never Evoh and Kiileerrz, who doesn't focus on ones quite as much. But I know of another guy who also doesn't seem to play much in the ones leaderboard and is still a top ones player, and that's the guy on the other side of the field. So Evoh hasn't grinded ones in a while, so I'm not sure that necessarily says anything. Kiileerrz has been rated as high as top 20, I'm pretty sure. And we just saw him play really well against... Who was it that Kiileerrz played? Oh yeah, he beat, dude, why can't I remember? Did he beat, he didn't beat Yaya. No, yeah, it was Yaya. He beat Yaya, and then he beat, or he lost to Rawas. And then Yaya, the only reason that Yaya was in the World Finals because everybody else couldn't make it. But I think, especially after, you know, the way Middle East has looked in general, playing against NA in ones, it definitely is a possibility that Kiileerrz takes this. I'll let them know right away. $20 prize. To be fair, it should be noted that Evoh is playing on an away server. You know, to a degree, this is a server he's not used to playing on. But I tell you what, I'm not sure it's that big of a deal. I know Kiileerrz definitely used to playing on EU. It became very clear when we ran the Feer Fest from the Middle East that they just like EU servers better. All of the Middle East games, they played on EU servers. It's a great flip reset. Evoh doesn't know how to score without the flip reset. Hopefully he's recording this for YouTube. I don't know if he is or not, but Evoh starting YouTube, I think, could crush it in YouTube if he stays consistent. So hopefully he's recording this. Where's Kiileerrz from? Kiileerrz is a Middle East player from KSA. The brother of Rawas, if you know who Rawas is. If you don't, that's fine. Just know that he's a next-gen player like Evoh. 14, I believe, and really good at the game of Rocket League as he flicks it above Evoh for a fourth. I think North America versus Middle East, it might be my favorite show match to run. I really like US West against EU. I just like when you can just chill on one server. I don't hate the back and forth server thing, but the problem with the back and forth server is the whole thing just becomes everybody talking about the servers. Every win is like it's a win on their home server, it's a win on their away server, this, that, the other. And it's like sometimes the game gets lost in the sauce a little bit just talking about the servers. Whereas when you can pick a server like this, and these guys have both 96 ping exactly. How beautiful is that? They have literally the same ping. So you shouldn't have to talk about the servers much. Maybe you mentioned how Evoh is probably less used to it, but other than that, it is a fair map, you know, all the way from beginning to end. And that's why I really like the North America versus Middle East. Buried points out the Sam versus EU is also good. I think the only reason Sam versus basically anybody is good is because KV1 is just a legend who seems to be unaffected by his 130 ping. Because, you know, the storyline in the past was definitely that you couldn't do it on Sam, that ping was too much, but KV1 rewrote the script completely on his own. I mean, I guess I say on his own for Sam because no one else really did it from Sam, but Khaled and the rest of the Middle East guys have also been playing ultra high ping games, showing that it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't stop you from being a top player. So chat, this will be interesting. I would say that in terms of just one's experience, one's show match experience, you know, one's games played, I would think that Evoh is the favorite here. But I mean, I never count the Middle East out, and I never count next-gen players out, and that is the case for Kiileerrz both ways. I know I'm saying this after he's already up 6-2 halfway through the game, so obviously I should have faith in Kiileerrz. But I think even going into this, you know, a Kiileerrz solid victory was certainly a possibility. What is the prediction at right now? Did all the mods bet in the prediction? You want to try some more of those Sam guys out? Yeah, it's too bad that Wisty had to play against Joriaz. That's a tough break. Evoh forfeiting with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go, I'm assuming, in this game 1. This is a early forfeit, unless he hops back in the match. 2 minutes, 6 goals, not impossible, but Kiileerrz obviously tilting him. Leave. He wants to lose game 1. All right, let's make sure we save it. All right, game number 2. Evoh versus Kiileerrz. YouTube commenters absolutely hate the early forfeits, which is understandable. If you're popping up a YouTube video, you want to watch, you know, a show match. You want to watch a game and then it ends like way before you thought. You sit down, you're like, oh, nice 30 minutes at least of some solid content. Oh, it's over in 10 because somebody forfeited like a few minutes into every game. But I've always had the stance of like of basically no stance. You know, letting the players dictate what they, if they want to give up on that game, then they want to give up on that game. But of course, that stance might have to change a little bit for tournaments. Kiileerrz, double flip reset. Where are we at in the world if Kiileerrz is going to be the one who is clipping on Evoh? That being said, though, we actually watched Kiileerrz play threes in one of our YouTube videos as he doubles it off the ground, dude. Kiileerrz is insane. We watched Kiileerrz and Rawas get rank 1 together. I think first Rawas got it, and I think Kiileerrz got it slightly after. But Kiileerrz is crazy, man. Kiileerrz is like an Evoh type or like a freestyler type. Freestyle is an exaggeration, but like a mechanical player for sure. Because we watched Rawas, and Rawas played it pretty safe, but Kiileerrz was flying around the map like crazy. By the way, thank you, Artorias, for the tier 1, man. I appreciate it. Kiileerrz continues to run it up. 3-0 here. He has picked up exactly where he left off in game 1. Where is Kiileerrz from? He is from Saudi Arabia. He is from the Middle East. Evoh, can he get a clip to start the heat here? The wave dash does get stopped, but it gets 50'd right back into his car. So he's able to slam it in. Whoa, that was some delayed ping for me, I think. Kiileerrz picked up that boost super late. Evoh needs a spark. One of the criticisms of the Evoh game for a long time has been his ability to stay in games and matches that he drops. You know, the bounce back mentality. If you go down a game or you go down a certain amount of goals, can you come back and play your best Rocket League still to finish it off? I think we've seen lots of players prove that they can. Joriaz very recently in the Feer Fest, in specific games and as well as series, you know, slightly, would come back from some serious deficits. We saw Rawas from the Middle East, Kiileerrz's brother, also do it big time in Next Gen. Next Gen, I think Rawas went down 2-0 in the grand final and then needed to reverse sweep to force a bracket reset and then won again. It was just truly a legendary comeback, I would say. One of the best comebacks of this year. And impressive that it came from an Next Gen player. Nice flip reset from Evoh. This is going to be a great game, man. Evoh Kiileerrz is going to be a fun one to watch. I think if you're a fan of the aerial game, you're going to like this one. Those are 2 great shots for Evoh. Here this year, yeah, the Rawas Moxie games in Next Gen were very. This is a very good comeback. I remember thinking Rawas was down and out. He had already lost to Moxie earlier in the bracket, but he clutched it out. Evoh, dude, he scored everything with flip resets. Kiileerrz is going to give him a nice one, and he deserves it. These guys, the unspoken clip fest on each other. What's the decal Evoh is using? I don't know. Chat's usually better at that than me. I'm sure they'll let you know. There's always an item head in the chat, desperate to explain to you what every item is. Oh, see, someone already said it before I even said anything. Evoh trying to take a power shot. He's going to get credited with a shot attempt, but I'm not so sure that that was online. Kiileerrz gets the quote-unquote save either way. Evoh almost made it back. I actually thought Evoh had already been scored on. After this 50, I thought he was out of the play. But Kiileerrz actually not much boost of his own. Ooh, that was close. Evoh almost got back. Roadkill, chat. Roadkill it is. Kiileerrz, the kickoff win. The aerial shots have been crisp. And of course, as I say that, he sends one off the post and out instead of putting himself up 6-3. Great read from Evoh. Wow. Like crazy from Evoh's perspective, that was a wild challenge from Kiileerrz. He came in from so far away. But I wonder, yeah, even kind of from Kiileerrz's perspective, maybe he's just used to, you know, offenders taking it really, really safe and trying to pull down into dribbles, not expecting really challenges. But Evoh definitely did, and he's going to absolutely eat up this setup. Evoh needs a tough angle. Couldn't get the speed. He needed to get no bounce on it, and now he's got to be worried about the counter. Great pre-flip to get back. In fact, he even cut Kiileerrz off the ball. So he's got himself open field. He's going to take to the skies, and why not? Most of his goals have come this way. This time, the air dribble bump. That is a classic Evoh goal we haven't seen in a long time. Evoh's air dribble bumps are air dribble bumps, let me tell you. Because we use the phrase air dribble bump a lot, and what really happens is somebody gets one, maybe two jumps, and then maybe two touches of the boost, and then we call it an air dribble bump because it's very close to the net. Evoh takes air dribble bumps. He like starts them all the way on his back half, takes him to the ceiling, and then falls in front of the ball to get the bump. Nice clear. Evoh's come alive, man. Wasn't looking good at the start of this game number 2 and the end of game number 1. But I tell you what, the go next mentality is something that is, you know, maybe there's something to it. That's a great flick. Because, wait, you didn't see what? There's a, how do you say... There's players who have done this a lot, where they drop out of games they feel like they've lost, but they don't quit on the series, and then they come back instead of like letting their mental get even worse in a game where they have a very low chance of winning. We've seen Chronic do that a lot. We've seen Evoh do that a lot. We've seen a few other players do it. You know, as long as you're not giving up on the next game as well, I think you can get away with it. You might be talking about prize pool. Oh, we didn't see it. There's a $20 prize pool. $40 seconds left. Evoh pinching it with the back wall to get it past Kiileerrz. He's got himself some space. The jump and bump, I mean, he's going to connect, but he's going to connect with Kiileerrz on the back wall, and the ball's not even headed into the net, so nothing much to come of it. Kiileerrz, his flick, not quite as strong as it has been earlier in the game. Slow rolling the ball at the back of Evoh. Sometimes you can get defenders to make mistakes in those spots. So I would say Evoh handled it well, but Kiileerrz, he's in the air. He's a dangerous player in the air, just like Evoh is. He's going to go air triple bump. He didn't get it. And now a long shot could easily go straight to the net without hitting the ground. It will. Evoh, he wants to go next, and this is why he comes back in game number 2. Oh, he's saying that he's sorry for not saying thanks to the nice one. That's chat was speculating why Evoh said that. He's just saying that he didn't say thanks. No one catches you in ranked since you never play. I actually have played a little bit recently.
Price fuel.
Prize Pule. Yo, one tasty tater, adding $10. So $30 prize now. I'll make sure to tell him in between goals. I think it's like a little bit unfair if somebody has possession to like send a chat and then they look up and then, you know, next thing you know, I'm basically changing the game. Update the prize pool thing. I need to come up with a better, faster way to do that. Maybe it's put... I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I don't like having to edit my little best of 5 thing every time. Evoh, wall to air dribble, flip reset. He's just taking this to the back wall, though, so he kind of has no choice but to bring it to the ground. Just type it in chat. Yeah, I'll tell them. They'll know, but I think Eros is saying he wants me to put it on the overlay, which I should do. I'll do that, too. I'll do that in between the games. Offense coming like crazy in the last game. Neither one of these guys can find anything now. Evoh, nice acceleration, but actually, no, it is the end of the world. I was going to say, it might not be the end of the world for Kiileerrz if this bounce is too awkward for Evoh to continue. $30 prize now. Thank you, One Tasty Tater. Kiileerrz, he's had a lot of early kickoff possessions that he's handled really well. He's not going to go wall to air dribble this time. Instead, a cut, the fake, and he got it underneath. Wow, I actually thought Evoh had protected against the low play, but he ended up jumping just enough. The aerial shots from Kiileerrz have been, you know, absolutely killer all series long, so it makes sense that Evoh pre-jumps to try and stop it. Just barely is he not able to keep it out. Evoh bumped off the play, and he had the camera check. I mean, you saw him looking back to see where Kiileerrz was, and he should have been able to see him coming to get him. I guess he just tried to hit the brakes, thought he could dodge the bump by just reversing away from it, but he probably needed to jump. Evoh, wall to air dribble setup where he feels most comfortable, but Kiileerrz got him to stop. That's I mean, it doesn't seem like Kiileerrz played defense, but let's make it clear. Kiileerrz stopped this by the way he set up high on the ceiling. Evoh does not do that air dribble if Kiileerrz isn't high up there. If Kiileerrz waits in net, sits, says, I'll react to your dribble, then Evoh doesn't lose it. He carries it all the way to the net. He makes an outplay at the end. Maybe he gets saved, maybe it doesn't. But when Kiileerrz threatens all the way up at the ceiling, he basically got Evoh to just give up on the play himself. He didn't even have to do anything. Kiileerrz off the side wall. Has a reset. Doesn't use it well. Evoh will slap it down to the other side of the field. Just teed it up for Kiileerrz. Kiileerrz another off the kickoff. Kickoffs have definitely been in favor of Kiileerrz. You lost 10K from the Feer Fest. I imagine a lot of people lost some money on a couple series. There are definitely some kind of upset series based on how the betting usually goes. Kiileerrz 5-2. You were at 11K. Oh, my man went all in and lost some serious coin. Evoh just continuing after he slammed it. He knew the clear was coming from Kiileerrz. He was likely going to flip through. So the demo should be easy to set up. And now he has baited Kiileerrz into a way too deep a challenge. As much as Evoh does play aggressive and high on the walls, another one of his tactics that he does all the time is he'll camp behind a ball, and he tries to bait you in. You know, he'll play it really, really slow and just sit behind it, either trying to chip it over you as you come or win a 50 like that. Wave dashing like crazy to get back in front of the net. Fight through the pain of the bump. Didn't like it. Evoh doesn't like the setup. Kiileerrz is obviously showing some defense that is discouraging Evoh from going wall to air dribble, even though they've worked pretty well for him so far. Kiileerrz is going to do it himself. Will Evoh show his defense high to prevent the stop? And he will. As he comes off the ceiling, it doesn't change Kiileerrz at all. He uses his shot, and he gets a sixth. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Doesn't fall for what was essentially a fake challenge from Evoh, who came high to the ceiling. But also Kiileerrz did a good job of keeping the ball away from, you know, the side wall and out to midfield. The farther you take it away, the harder it is to actually make a play off the ceiling like Evoh was threatening. So there's a good chance Evoh just turned around because he realized the challenge would just be too hard. You'd have to drop too far down. Both these guys, though, do this a lot. It's kind of, this is maybe one of the first times that I've seen a perfectly even matchup in terms of somebody going for more of like a clip-like shot and then leaving an open net. And both these guys do it for each other equally. They're like, hey, I know you tried to hit a 6 shot, but I am going to take my free net. Don't worry, next time around, I'll go for something risky. You can have your free net right back. Kiileerrz, a quick dribble to make sure Evoh stays in this awkward shadowing return to net defensive position. He does cover the 50. Kiileerrz gets the ball back out. He just wants the 50 over and over again, and he won this one. Oh, he couldn't get the aerial shot. It was a tough angle. He ended up not being able to find it. Evoh straight to the air. I think he stole that corner boost from Kiileerrz, so he knows Kiileerrz going to be recovering late. Kiileerrz, he lived long enough to get the bump, but not long enough to prevent the goal. 6-5. Evoh needs a decent kickoff here, likely, to make sure he gets a possession before the clock starts forcing him to play too fast. A nice kickoff would certainly be exactly what the doctor ordered. He's got a possession right here. Shot on net saved. He will be able to pick up the corner boost. Kiileerrz taking his trip out to pick up pads, and he makes it back to cut off the shot in time. I think that's going to be a big save. Remember that save at the end of this game. Stopping that possession could have been the difference, but now Evoh has another opportunity to pop, leaving a bit to be desired. Instead, he'll play it through the air. This is where Evoh's most comfortable. He didn't get the flip reset. He's got the 50 instead, and he just didn't win it well enough. Yeah, he just jumps away from it. He knows he doesn't have a chance. Kiileerrz is going to go up 2-1 in the best of 5 as Middle East looks to be on top yet again as the series goes on. Evoh going to start with the first possession. What a shot. A great first shot in a must-win game. Evoh flying into the slip reset hard, having to use a ton of boost just to make sure that getting it doesn't send him too far away from the play. And then smashing the wave dash power shot pinch into the top shelf. Unfortunately, the clips are still only worth 1 goal. Evoh's going to have to string the whole game together if he wants to tie the game back up, send it to game 5. Evoh could not pick up the midfield and aggressively attacked the corner like he was going to have a chance at the corner, but certainly did not. Early challenge, and if it weren't for the fact that Evoh sent himself to the other side of the world, it maybe would have been a good idea. Kiileerrz has been very, very efficient and effective in the air, so Evoh needs to find some way to stop it. Evoh, he wants a ceiling reset shot, and Kiileerrz, man, the ceiling challenge for him has been great. And that is why faking it is what got Evoh to change up his shot so heavily that one time. He's definitely proven that when he does actually take the ceiling challenge, he will intercept your play if you don't do something quick. Great save. Is going to come off the ceiling hard, though. Kiileerrz tried to fake it. Evoh, did he get the direct goal? He didn't, and he gets demoed. He's not able to get a second. It was a great call of the bluff by Evoh to jump at Kiileerrz' setup, but he just barely doesn't get a goal out of it. And instead, Kiileerrz with the whole field in front of him. Evoh with a diving challenge all the way from the spawn. Gets himself flicked over. 2-1. Kiileerrz with the lead. Evoh touching it once again off the ceiling. This is the flip reset shot of old. Back in the day before the flip reset shot, it was that shot that Evoh just did. A really soft touch, and then you just drive yourself up to the ceiling and fall off. That's like the kind of ceiling shot that I can do sometimes. Evoh forced to throw an aerial shot on with this last bit of boost for that possession. Now on the shadow defense. Hard flip away and then an immediate turn back. It just couldn't decide where he wanted to play defense from. Whether he wanted the close shadow or he wanted to head back to net. He kind of did a little bit of both here. He had a hard retreat as that flip took him really far away from the play. And then he had to he tried to follow immediately back up with a hard turnaround challenge. Kiileerrz just had it read. Evoh, the catch flick off the wall. Doesn't really put that dangerous of a touch on net. Kiileerrz slowing this dribble down. Evoh, what a save. Able to dodge the potential bump attempt as well as clean up the backboard. Now Kiileerrz in net with very little boost. Evoh trying to bait him out. Not a lot of people have been falling for his bait recently. I swear that bait used to work a lot better. He would just reverse away from the ball while it rolls back to his half, and people will try and come out and steal it from him, which they absolutely cannot. So it's a good thing they're not trying, but he used to actually convince people that they could come in and take it away. That being said, Kiileerrz, he wants to end it. He's got a lead. 2 minutes left on the clock and a 2-1 lead in the series. Evoh, his flick sent high and could not follow it up with a demo or a boost steal, so it will be Kiileerrz's possession. His air dribbles have looked good, but he fell in front of this one. I think Evoh's going to be able to get around it and probably just to catch and cut directly at net. Yeah. Evoh, no need to mess around with anything else. Kiileerrz made a mistake, and Evoh wants to punish it. Evoh sending this kick off to the right very intentionally. You saw right before connecting. Driving far left. Kiileerrz, the dribble passed. Does not seem like he's going to be able to get a shot out of it. Right now, Evoh has been playing really, really well on defensive counters. And that has been Evoh's game a lot recently. He's played really good on defense. And this one kind of came out of a defensive counter as well. I mean, Kiileerrz, who was rushing back, never really got to establish. Tried to clear it into his corner, and the momentum of his own car was too much to get back into the play. Evoh 3-3. Oh, it'd be really nice to top it all off with some kickoffs, because certainly Kiileerrz has had the edge there, but he gets a nice immediate play. Kiileerrz double challenge. Neither one of them is going to work. Kiileerrz will instantly tie it back up, though. More of the same, except he doesn't need 2 touches. He's just going to slam it directly in. Kiileerrz thought he could get away with an immediate shot. He won that single jump 50 challenge. He thought he won it so good that Evoh wasn't going to be able to get back. Kiileerrz the possession play. He won't be able to hold on to it, though. The bounce is too awkward, and Evoh is flying in. Now it's kind of the same exact situation the other way. Evoh's going to try and kill it, but because he has to turn around to make a touch, he likely won't be able to hold on to possession. By the time I finish talking about a play that fast, though, it's long over. And Kiileerrz gets a 5th. He comes out of it with a bit of an open field, stealing this back corner boost, and a great pop. The ball just bouncing right into the setup. Evoh gets caught watching. Evoh to the ceiling. Has the reset. What will he do with it now? Forced to use it in a spot that really didn't help him make the play, but he actually got Kiileerrz out of net. And if he hits that aerial shot with actual power, I think he scores. But you saw he had to flip kind of away from it and get a wheel touch because his single jump didn't set up the angle well. Evoh on the counter. That'll be a 5th. He wants at least an overtime in game 4, if not a game 5. Kiileerrz does not stop attacking through the air, just like his opponent on the other side of the field. Neither one of these guys are backing down when there's a clip to be had, potentially. Kiileerrz bumping Evoh away, and now it'll be overtime in game 4. All the Evoh believers screaming for a game 5. Will it happen though? Kiileerrz chased him down. Could not get him, so it's open field for Evoh. Kiileerrz not much of a fake challenge. Takes ball cam all the way off as he retreats. Gets the save. Evoh couldn't get in front of it. I don't know if he was trying to go for demo or not because we watched it from Kiileerrz's perspective. But either way, Kiileerrz is a dangerous bounce dribble. Evoh will send it away and off the post. 2 great shot attempts, 2 great saves. Straight back to the air. Kiileerrz is going to go bump. He has to go bump in this situation. Doesn't have a lot left to do with it. But Evoh able to save it. Right now, the offense is not lacking. These have been good shot attempts. The defense has just been even better. Evoh, he's going to take an air dribble. Why not? The flip reset, the goal. Game 5 coming at you for this North American versus Middle East show match. Kiileerrz trying to get it off the top of his net. A tough way to try and challenge this. It's not going to work. Game 5, $30 prize pool on the line. Winner takes all. Game 5, North America versus Middle East. Potentially my favorite matchup of regions. I think it's probably number 1. There aren't that many regional matchups to pick against. And I think we've always had the most fun with North America versus Middle East. Kiileerrz trying to get a possession going. A deep challenge from Evoh, but it's not really going to stop him. Just going to reset. He'll set up his possession just a little bit later. And a great low 50. Kiileerrz has mixed it up very perfectly. He's had a great flick game. He's had a good aerial game. And he knows when it's time to cash in on playing both of those so well. He can just take a low 50 and get a much easier goal next time around. Evoh might stay grounded, and you'll see the flick come right back out. Kiileerrz, nice save and a demo. Evoh in his attempt to clean up the boost and keep Kiileerrz out of the game, ended up taking himself out. Ricky versus Khaled when? Yeah, that did happen. Evoh, a high pop trying to Goomba stomp. He's going to save this ball himself, and he might have just scored on himself. Ooh, Kiileerrz misses wide. It was a tough open net. Had the full field, no boost, but certainly Kiileerrz could have scored, gone up 3-0. Evoh falling way in front of the ball. Kiileerrz will catch straight to the net. Evoh will take his time to grab the 100, so that's a great recognition from Kiileerrz. Kiileerrz is adjusting his shot based on what he sees Evoh doing. So he takes it high in the air, realizes, no, I don't need to. Evoh's swinging wide from the play, so I can just take it to the ground and put it behind Evoh because Evoh's going to be recovering fast. If you're going to take a trip all the way out to boost in that dire of a situation, it means you're going to have to turn around at full speed and come back to the net. What are you not going to be able to do when you're rushing full speed back to the net? That is cover the near post as you fly past it, and Kiileerrz knows it, man. Oh, did he miss another open net? It's starting to become a little bit too frequent. He got himself yet another open net, but he didn't score it. Kiileerrz could easily be up 5-3 right now. Instead, the door a little bit more open for Evoh. Air dribble bump, why not? This one executed well. This is more like the air dribble bumps you see from everybody else. Evoh's the only one who does the true air dribble bumps. Because this was, I mean, he touched it once. He double jumps it, and then he touched it one more time. It's like, is that really an air dribble? Kiileerrz trolling for the content. Evoh is actually chatting, talking to somebody who played in the qualifiers today, I imagine. Evoh, his flip reset. Stopped out. As he tries to wave dash it low, Kiileerrz able to cover everything. Evoh, the early cut. Seemed like a situation he might try and reset on boost. Instead, he just powers a shot all the way down the field. I wonder if Kiileerrz was even worried about that. I mean, the way he was approaching the ball, I think he thought that Evoh was going somewhere up the side wall, not trying to look net immediately. Those couple open nets are certainly something that Kiileerrz would like to have back now that Evoh's brought it within one. Kiileerrz quick touch. I think there's a good chance Evoh tries the challenge there, and certainly Kiileerrz is trying to pop it over him. But Evoh made the right decision. Patient in his own half, has himself a full field dribble. He'll take it to the skies yet again. This time the flip reset, and Kiileerrz, man, he has gotten scored twice now in crucial moments by going off the top of his net. It is not easy to get a save low when you play it off of the ceiling of your net. Evoh kind of given an easy one. An easier one than he would have had otherwise if Kiileerrz had tried to save it any other way. Evoh doesn't want the corner dribble. Wants to see if he could bait Kiileerrz in. Kiileerrz not falling for it. Evoh's quick touches almost get past, but now it's Kiileerrz the other way. This is a great dribble setup for either a bump or potential 50, but he took neither. Instead, he just tried to dribble it straight in. That will be a hard save. Wow, Kiileerrz, that would have been a nasty recovery if somehow this wasn't a goal. I think it's just hard to get away with run-of-the-mill air dribbles. You take an air dribble from the wall straight to the net, no flip reset, no pull-off for a 50, no bump of the defender. The defenders have just gotten too good at saving those. Hard to get away with that. Kiileerrz does not get away with it this time. And is now down, but a great backflip challenge. And he'll tie it right back up. Kiileerrz making it look like he's leaving the play. Evoh, to be fair, being a little bit greedy potentially. Flying so far off the back wall and still, attempting to get a strong touch instead of just landing near it and going for, some kind of more ones type play. Evoh, full field dribble. Got the flip reset. Kiileerrz jumps, and that's exactly what Evoh wants. As Evoh is trying to decide what to do, he gets the reset and sees the jump, which just, it's perfect timing. I mean, Evoh doesn't even have to delay at all. That is exactly the pace that Evoh wants to use the flip reset at. And Kiileerrz just fell right into his hands. But I tell you what, this is also worth one goal, as we talk about all the time. And Evoh, man, he has got to clean the diagonals up. He's had a couple different diagonals lost straight to the side wall to the net. Kiileerrz wins another kickoff, but dies in the process of stealing boost. Will we see the full field dribble? No, man. Evoh has been passing these up, or at least starting them from the wall, that is. To start from the ground instead. And his flip reset is miles away from the ball, so Kiileerrz able to easily tap it out of dangerous way. A minute left to go. Evoh, man, he is just faking the air dribbles, or at least the initial air dribble setup, and going for something else instead. This is a great air dribble bump. I like this from Evoh. You see Kiileerrz coming high, trying to stop that initial air dribble. And so instead, Evoh is chipping it a little bit lower, a little bit more directly to the net, and then playing it from there. And since Kiileerrz is already so high, he's going to have to recover really fast and won't be able to evade the bump. So Evoh up 6-5. Looking to clutch it out against the Middle East player. Give North America another win. A nice backflip save. And what felt like a tying goal, Kiileerrz. He did not have that. And even Evoh's going to throw out the okay. Maybe because Kiileerrz said woo. I'm not sure who said something first. But this was a greedy side flip challenge. I mean, Evoh is going to have to be nowhere near the play in order for that to work. Evoh not skipping the replay so he can type in chat. I don't think this is going to make the YouTube commenters any more of fans of Evoh. Evoh, the possession, back into his own corner. He's got a 2-goal lead. He doesn't need to give it away. Although, that being said, he does use up every last bit of boost on this air dribble, which means Kiileerrz will take control. 10 seconds left to go. Kiileerrz needs a hook shot. He got Evoh to pre-jump, and the air roll actually was pretty close to where Evoh had pre-jumped. I was worried that he was going to end up just shooting it directly into Evoh. But no, he does get it around him. 5 seconds left to go. Kiileerrz, I bet you he would have wanted diagonal kickoff. He's dominated the diagonal kickoffs. Instead, he gets a straight one. Evoh gets possession. Instead of Evoh, oh, he is going to pitch it back to his corner on the ground. Evoh will take it in game 5. A very, very close one. GG's from both these guys. And I think that's important to remember, chat. These guys, they're talking some smack, but it's GG's.